What's up, everybody?
What's up, everybody? Happy
What up,
New
what up, what up?
Year! New Year.
That's right. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you all. If you are watching this, please share this. Happy New Year to you all. We haven't been sitting here at the desk for the last couple weeks. There have been replays. Thank you to everybody who engaged with the replays. We tried to jump in the comments when we could with those replays, but the point of doing the replays was really so that we would just be able to kind of chill out.
Yeah, so we wouldn't have to be here.
So if we didn't get to everybody's comments, we apologize. But that was the whole point of us doing rebroadcasts, so that we could kind of have some time and chill out. But we're back. It's 2024, and nothing has changed as it relates to this show. We're still going to be here. We're still going to be sharing conversations. We're still going to be engaging you in that way. If you are not familiar with who we are marriage coaches. We are authors and speakers, with the goal being to share our journey in hopes that it will encourage and inspire others. We are passionate about seeing relationships thrive, and as such, we are just doing what we feel like God has called us to do. Camilla's in the house. What's up, Camilla?
What's up, Camilla? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you. Thank you for being here. We appreciate it. If you're here, shout yourself out. If you are watching the replay, shout yourself out as well. Yeah, go ahead.
Is that how you do it? I forget. Press this. Okay.
Yep. So listen, let's jump in. We hope that you had a fantastic holiday season. Number one. We hope that the holiday season was restful for you. We hope the holiday season brought you joy and peace and happiness and family time and good food and all of that kind of stuff, yes. Right? We got Connect with Candy in the house. Connect with Candy, Lion and Candy in the house. Candy? What's up, family? Happy New Year to you all. Thank you for being here. We hope that your holiday was Fantastic. Now, if you're watching this, we would love for you to do something for us. Happy New Year. Camilla said, I saw your post. I'm assuming that post is
How I went into the
the
grocery
Wegmans
store.
post. Yeah, so that's what I'm assuming is the Wegmans post. If you don't know what we're talking about, you're gonna have to check out my wife's social media
Yeah,
to see
Wegmans. Yeah,
that.
that was not.
Hope you had a great holiday. Yes, we
We
did.
did. We
It
did.
was
We hope you had a great
yeah. We
holiday
hope
as
you
well.
had one as well. It was quiet. Just family around. We had a good time. It was a good time
Good time.
to disconnect
Disconnect
so that we could connect.
and reconnect.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's what's up. So let's jump into this. We have a conversation. We don't know how short or long it's going to be because maybe this is not an issue for you, but it's an issue we see.
I thought you were going to say it's an issue with us.
Well, I'm about to say, and if we're being quite honest, it's an issue that we deal with from time to time as well.
Is it an issue?
Not issue. That's a strong word for us. It's not an issue because it doesn't cause any problems, but it is something that comes up.
Mm-hmm.
If you saw the description, we're talking about initiating.
Yeah.
And the title is I Need My Spouse to Initiate More. Right. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Let me just throw this right here in the beginning. And I'll throw it in at the end as well. But those of you who you may or may not know, we're people of faith. And as such, we believe in the power of prayer. We believe you need to put your hard hat on and do some work if you want to see your marriage thrive.
Yep.
We also believe in prayer as a component of that work that you put in. Yep. Right. So it's not just pray and do nothing. It's not just do everything and don't pray. For us, it's a combination of the two. And as such, we have done in the past.
There we go.
We've done week of prayers in the past, couples week of prayers. The last 2 years that we did it, I think we did a spring one and a fall one.
Yeah.
This year, we're going to do it quarterly.
Mm-hmm.
Starting this month, January the 21st to the 27th, we will simply go live every day for the 7 days. There is a theme for each day, and we will be praying for marriages. Listen, if prayer is something that you are into, if prayer is something that you desire, if prayer is something that is important to you, we urge you to join us for that time. Now, it is going to be early, so it is a commitment. It is 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, so it is going to be a commitment for you. But we believe that,
well, for some people,
right, for some people, but we believe that for all, it will be a blessing. So, just want to throw that out there. We'll mention it again at the end as well. We got Pastor Graham in the house.
What's up?
Happy
Paul?
New Year
New
to
Year.
you, my brother. Happy New Year to you and your family. We hope that your holidays was great. All right, let's jump into this. I need my spouse to initiate more. And by initiate, we're talking sexually. We're talking about sexual intimacy. We're talking about the need for your spouse to initiate more. And so some of the questions that I asked were, do you have an initiation routine?
And what do you mean routine? Like I initiate and then you initiate, then I initiate.
Right. Yeah, is there a system? Camilla said 6 a.m., bro. That's not early. That's early. It is. It is. It is. And it's a commitment for us as well, because if I'm going to be quite honest, I'm often up at that time, but I'm not often up at that time.
You're awake.
I'm awake, but I'm not often doing things, or I'm out of the bed, so it's a commitment for us as well. However, let me say this, and then we'll get back to the thing. I feel like, and correct me if I'm wrong, I feel like the times that we do that, that it sets the tone for our day.
Absolutely.
During that week of prayer.
It absolutely does. Yep.
I've never said that to you, but I've always felt that. I feel like every time we get up at 6 a.m. to do that, the rest of the day goes, I'm not going to say it's just like magically different, but I feel like it sets the tone.
It does.
And hopefully it will do that for those who are a part of this as well. All right. So initiating sex.
So go ahead. Explain what you meant
by the routine.
Yeah.
Okay. 1 second. Let me say this. If you so desire to be forthcoming, because we're not going to force anybody to be in the comments to talk about their sex life, but if you are so if you so desire to be forthcoming, do you have an initiation routine, or is it just spontaneity? Just whoever happens to grab whoever happens to grab who, that's just how it's going to be.
But what do you mean routine? You didn't
So
explain that. Do you mean one time I initiate, then the
right,
next time you initiate, and so the next time it's on me to
right. So
initiate?
like if I initiate tonight, we just kind of know that, okay,
The next time it's
next
me.
time it's on you. Like, first of all, do people do that? Number
Mhm.
one. And if they don't, how do you manage the initiation piece? Now, here's the thing. For some people, this might not be a thing at all.
Right.
But we can tell you that based on some of the couples that we've been able to serve, that the initiation piece is an issue, because there's always one person who feels like they are initiating sex way more than the other person.
And is that a problem though?
There, $6 million question. Is that a problem? I dare say, as long as it's happening,
as long as sex is happening,
does it matter who initiates?
I think I wouldn't agree with you there.
Okay.
Because I think that to me, I mean, I agree with you, but I don't think that that's how it is or how people feel across the board. Because there are some people that feel like, man, if I were to never initiate, we would never have sex. And that's a problem for them.
Yeah, that's a problem. That's a problem.
So I don't think that saying as long as it's happening, what does it really matter? Because I think the resentment will start to kick in if that's how you're thinking.
Okay. And yeah. If it's a case where if I don't ever initiate, that it will never happen, that I feel like that's a whole nother category. Yeah, that's a whole nother category. Marriage with Benefits is in the house. We Married with Benefits, which is our guys, that they're in here both twice.
Andy, yeah.
We have something called Bond Touch that lets each other know if we're up for it. Plus, it helps with nice communications during the day. I like that.
Yes. Now, see, I like that.
And that's strategy, if you will, even if you don't call it that. But
like we always say, and there's a book that says it too, sex does not begin in the bedroom.
Doesn't begin in the
bedroom.
And so
the communication throughout the day, I love that.
I like that. Bond Touch. I like that. So Married with Benefits has a, I hate to use this word, but system. It sounds very mechanical, but they have something that works for them, right? So I appreciate you sharing that. So I'll put myself out there. Those of you who are with us as regulars know that I often do that. I don't initiate as much as I should.
I agree.
Let me tell you why.
I know why. Well, I think I know
let me tell them why, because you probably do know why. Here's why. And I'm really gonna be honest and vulnerable. I'm 1000% man. So anybody who thinks that my vulnerability makes me soft can kick rocks. But here's the thing. I personally, I want to be able to, and this is impossible, but just bear with me. I want to ensure that my initiation is always met with a favorable response.
Yes. So you don't want to feel, and I don't think you're alone in this. I think that men in general, whether they initiate or not.
It might be women too, though. I think just people who don't initiate, they may fall into this category.
Maybe so, but I think that men do more so, that they just don't want to feel rejected.
Yeah. I'm just gonna be honest.
But
I want a 100% what is it?
Positive return on your investment.
That's right. 100% ROI. 100%. Not 99, not 80. I want 100% return on my investment. And I want to be sure about that. And sometimes I'm not sure about that.
Yeah.
And so I choose to wait, because I know that when you want it, it's wanted. And maybe there are other people who are like that. Maybe
Yeah.
there aren't. Maybe maybe that's a level of insecurity on my part.
Uh,
I you know
I
I
don't feel like that's insecure. I just feel like that's just how men are. I could be wrong.
maybe I don't know. We'll see if any guys are in there that are willing to chime in on it.
It's like a necklace or wristband. It sends Morse codes, kinda. If you tap it, then it lets your partner know you're thinking about them.
Oh, so this is an actual device.
It's like a necklace or wristband.
Hmm.
Okay. Huh.
I'm about to look that up.
What's it called again? Bond
Bond touch
Touch.
bracelets.
Wow.
Hmm. Yeah.
Bond Touch.
I'll be getting my wallet out later tonight.
that.
I like that idea. That's what's up. Bond touch. Okay, cool. I'm with it. I'm with it. So here's an example. For example, if I tap it 3 times, she knows I want sex.
Do you have to program it to
2 times
mean?
means I love her,
Oh.
etc.
So is that
That's
something you
dope.
programmed, or is that how it comes? 2 taps means I love you across the board, and 3 taps means I want you? Or do you program it yourself? Everyone programs it with their partner to say what they want it to mean. I wonder.
That's dope. I like that.
You have to look into that.
Yeah, I got it up here on the other screen now. So that's cool. That's cool. And Married with Benefits said no programs.
Oh,
No programs.
okay.
That's cool. I like that. So that's what we're talking about tonight. The taps we make up.
You can
You
choose
can
whatever
choose
level you
what
want.
level you want.
Love it.
That's cool. I like that. I like that. It's a long distance. It's long distance, so you can reach out across the country. Nice.
Oh,
I love it. I love it, man. And listen, I'm all for creating whatever your system is,
whatever it
right?
is.
So
Yeah, whatever works for you.
so here's the thing, right? In a perfect world, I should just be able to just be like, "Hey, listen, babe, take all that off right now."
You know,
I should be able to be sitting down here at my desk
mhm.
and send a text and be like, "Listen, come down here in 10 minutes."
I think that you underestimate me, because I think that there's a lot of times where that would happen.
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
do.
Oh, yeah. I'm aware that I've missed opportunities.
Mm.
I'm aware of that. Now, here's the flip side of that. And this is just me and you. I'm not talking about anybody else. This is just for me and you. So you all are going to get to see us do this in real time
Yeah.
in front of you. Like we're going to act like y'all not here. Here's the other side of that.
There is the other side.
You, Elizabeth, you know that. And you don't do nothing about it.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Me knowing that, if you feel like I know that, you shouldn't leave that all. I don't think it's fair for you to leave that all up to me. So that means that because you think I know that you
Mhm.
don't ever have to say anything, ever, ever, ever. Because you say to me often, if not
Mhm.
all the time, I always want you. You don't have to ever think about whether I want you or not. I always want you. So that means that I should initiate all of the time, because you think that I know that you always want me, so you don't ever have to say anything. And I kind of feel like that's not fair.
Okay. And
Do you understand
I
that?
understand that. And just for the record, I'm not using that as a crutch.
I feel like
I'm
it
really not.
feels
It,
like you are.
and I get that. It may feel like that, and I can understand why it would feel like
This
that.
totally went
But
left.
no, this is good. This is part of it. This is part of it. So I'm not intentionally using that as a crutch.
You know how you know what I feel? I feel like you saying I always want you
Mhm.
is a cover so that you don't ever have to actually approach me or initiate it.
I'm not doing that on purpose. I'm really not. I'm really not doing that on purpose. I'm really not. Dr. Parks is in the house. He's
We need you. What did he say?
Dr. Parks said, what is this show rated? If you have to ask, brother, you know the answer.
No.
No, it's not.
We're
It's not
keeping
that
it
bad.
above.
It's not that bad. We're talking about initiating sexually.
So I don't know if you heard what I just said, but Ollie always says to me, I always want you. So, basically, I feel like he's saying to me, I always want you. So I don't ever have to say that I want you. Just know that I always want you. And to me, that feels like he's throwing the ball into my court and I should always initiate. That's what I just said. I don't know if you heard that.
Parks said, validate her feelings. Oh, agreed. And I'm not, just for the record, in front of the peoples. I'm not. That's not what I'm doing on purpose, even though I understand how it can come across.
It comes across that way to me. And I feel like that's your way of keeping yourself safe from rejection.
Now that I agree with.
And that's not fair.
That I will agree with. Because that goes back to what I said earlier, where I'm like, okay, I want to guarantee that I have 100% ROI. So that means every time I put it out there, and hear me, I'm not saying unrealistically. I'm not saying like when she's sick or she ain't feeling good or what she in a bad mood. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying if when I think about initiating in my mind, I don't want to associate initiation with any level of, nah, I ain't feeling you right now.
Yeah, but sometimes that might be the answer.
And I'm with you. I'm just telling you that I
don't want
to put myself in a position to hear that.
Yeah.
I'm keeping a buck. I'm just being honest.
You are, but I feel like I think that you need to get to the point where you're okay if sometimes I'm like, nah, I'm not feeling you right now, and not take it so personally.
Yes.
What does
I don't have any comeback for that. I mean, I agree with you.
Okay.
I agree with you.
I'm sorry if you can hear my fans.
How that happens,
you don't know,
is something I got to work on.
Yeah.
Now, let's clear something up. That does not mean we're in a situation where if she does not initiate, that it will never happen.
Correct.
Because that's also something that if you've listened to any of these other episodes, you already know about me, that a long period of time between is not conducive to my mental health. So that's not going to happen. So, it still happens. I still find a way to either overtly or covertly, give signals. But yeah, that's kind of where I am though.
I like it's always overt.
Is it always overt? Overt as in out, like forward facing, like, come here, girl.
No,
take your clothes
but overt, like you feel like you're not giving off a certain vibe or whatever when you are. Like I can tell.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get that. Doc said men don't want to feel rejected, so they don't ask.
I understand that. Marriage. I understand that. I get that. I do. I get that. But I just feel like that's, I don't know. I almost want to say, it's not rejection. For me, it's not I'm rejecting you. It's just for whatever reason, I'm not into it right now. That doesn't necessarily mean that I'm looking at you like, ew, no. Like,
understood.
You know what I mean?
Yep. Understood.
And I feel like that's what men think, and that's not what I mean if I ever say no.
Okay. And that's good. And I know, and we've talked about that, so we know that, right? We're kind of just talking this out in front of everybody.
Yeah.
What we're talking about tonight is initiation. And under the title, I need my spouse to initiate more. Married with Benefits talked about a system that they have, which is an actual bracelet, actual device that they use, that they can kind of use to convey their initiation to each other, that kind of thing. What do you do if you feel like you're initiating too much?
Mm-hmm.
What do you do? Is there an initiation system? Gamal said, shout out to Gamal Alexander, pastors in the house. If wifey and I aren't intentional, things just won't happen. We
Mm-hmm.
can't afford to play games or else sex will just dry up.
Mm-hmm.
We had to plan for sex as well as initiate the spontaneous sessions. Okay.
Yep.
That's what's up.
A lot of people, we've had to plan.
We've had
as
to
well.
do that too.
Yeah.
We've had to plan as well. And O feels when you don't want to. There's a disturbance in the force. You're right about that.
Wow.
You're right about that. And especially if you are, and I'm about to pat myself on the back on purpose here, especially if you are intentional about learning the person that you're with, which I am.
Yes, you are. You are.
So there are times where I'm like, man, I just want to throw this woman over my shoulder like the Flintstones, but I know that this is gonna go wrong, so I ain't gonna do it.
You don't always know. You don't always know.
Well, I think I know. Let's put it that way.
That's the problem. You think you know.
I think I know. Now you have surprised me. There's been times where I've been like, okay, I think I've read the space, and this ain't the time for me to pull my pants down.
Mm-hmm.
And you surprised me.
Yeah.
But I think I'm right more often than I'm not.
You're wrong. Okay.
That's just me.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking that. So for us, since we're putting ourselves out on Front Street, that is a thing that I am still working to. I've gotten a lot better, but I think that's a space for me where there is a nice size room for improvement in terms of me initiating and closing the gap between how much I initiate and how much you initiate.
Yes.
Because right now it's lopsided. Is it lopsided? It used to be lopsided. It's
almost even now, I think.
Okay, so we getting there. We good. We getting there.
It's almost even now, I think.
My applause don't work. I would have given some applause. They don't work right now. So it's almost even. So that and here's the thing. Like I said in the beginning, for some people who are watching, this may be like, I know there's some people who are like, man, this, like, what's the problem?
Yeah.
But we've worked with couples where that was a major issue. Where one person was like, hey, it's always me.
Yeah.
I'm always the one who has to make the advances. I'm always the one who, or I'm always the one who's making the advances. And this is a whole nother caveat. I'm always the one who's making the advances and I'm still getting rejected. We've sat with couples on both sides of that.
Yeah.
Where one, it's not really that one is not feeling the other. They just, for some reason, they are just not initiating.
Right.
And that could be a number. We've seen a number of reasons why, right?
Yeah.
They're just not sexually free because of how they were raised and family of origin. We didn't talk about that. There's certain words we'd never said. There's certain phrases we'd never used. And so that feels I feel some kind of way saying that.
Right.
And so they just kind of shy away. And so the other person has to take up the slack. Or they're just outright lazy. And they're just not.
Do you think that is the thing, though, that they're just outright do you think lazy is the thing?
I think that's the other end of the spectrum. I think that's the other extreme.
That people are just too lazy to initiate?
They're just like, hey, listen, I know what's going to happen, so I'm going to just sit back and let it happen.
I kind of
That's
feel
lazy.
I don't know if I don't know. I can't imagine that being the actual reason.
Well, I'm just giving you the two extremes.
No, I understand
that we've seen.
Lazy though, wow.
And maybe that's my strong word for it. But I feel like if you're
at the end of the day,
I feel like that's what it is. If you're gonna sit back and be like, hey, I already know what's gonna happen, so I'm gonna just sit back and wait for it to happen. That's lazy on your part, because you should be an active participant.
Huh.
Like, I should know that you want me. It shouldn't be like, oh, well, even like what we're talking about, like what we were just talking about,
but
where I'm like, I want you.
Right.
And so because I want you, but that's not what I was doing though, but I'm using myself as an example, because you know that I want you all the time. I will never say no. I gotta be about to die. And even then I'm gonna ask for a shock or something so I can get it in real quick.
Yeah, but
I'm never gonna say no. But there are people who have that and they convey that and they're like, well, now that you know, I already know it's gonna go down. So let me just wait for it to happen. I think that's lazy.
I feel like, yeah, I don't know.
Doc said lazy or tired.
Tired.
Maybe the sex is not up to par.
Then I wouldn't say that that's lazy or tired. Just
Now, if the sex is not up to par, that's a whole nother issue
Yeah.
because you're not going to initiate because you don't want a bad experience.
Yes.
That's a whole nother ball game.
Yeah. Agreed.
And I think we talked about being dissatisfied. We did a show on
I
that.
think we did.
We did a
Yeah.
show, one Saturday night show about being dissatisfied and how you go about that. What do you do? That's a whole nother story. But let's say there aren't any extenuating circumstances. There isn't anything technically wrong. It's just one person initiates more than the other.
Yeah. I see how you would say lazy now. I'm thinking, like, for example, say you initiated all the time. And my thinking was, well, I know he's going to come around anyway. He'll get to me. He'll come around.
Right. That's lazy.
Yeah. Okay.
That's
see
lazy.
What you mean.
And I do believe that as couples, we should, it's because we're a team, right? And I gotta step carefully through this. Because we're a team, right? If you think about a basketball team, if you are in a shooting slump, as your team, we gotta rally around you and we gotta create plays or we got to set you up, put you in scenarios where you can get your confidence back. So maybe we set you up and make sure you can get to the hoop, with ease. And so you can do these, nice, easy layups and just kind of get your confidence back.
Yeah.
I think that as a married couple, we also, and this is not about advice, but here we go anyway. This is just what I'm thinking out loud. As married couples, because we're a team, that the teammate should also be willing to kick in. Right. So just like how you and I, when we had the conversation, I was like, well, and I said it tonight, well,
yeah.
And sometimes but you don't choose to act because I didn't initiate. But the team should kind of kick in those moments and be like, hey, babe, I know you want me. So you gonna shoot your shot or what? Right. And then you kind of set me up because now I know, it's gonna be buckets as opposed to bricks. Right.
Yeah, I get that.
So that's, so here's the thing. So let me take it here because we're not gonna be on here too much longer. Let me take it here. So what does initiation, and this is different for every person, so I don't necessarily want you in the comments to say anything if you don't want to, but I love that Married with Benefits,
the bond.
Lion and Candy said that they have something that they actually use.
Yeah.
So they have this thing called Bond Touch that they actually use.
I love that.
3 taps means, hey, let's get it popping.
What's up? Yeah. So
what does initiation, can we put ourselves on the spot?
Sure.
What does initiation look like?
I mean,
what is effective initiation?
I mean, I think that's relative to every
It
couple.
is relative. It is relative.
So, I mean, I don't know. What does it look like for us?
Can I just be like, hey, you get over there?
There's a couch in here. That's what he's pointing to. I mean, you could sometimes. And like you said, you know me. And so you've learned me. And I think you've learned when that would work for me and when it wouldn't.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So it just depends. It's not always the same thing Initiation is not always the approach. The initiation approach is not always the same thing for us.
And I was coming here too, right? So Married with Benefits said, I think it means warming up the engine during the day.
Sex does not begin in the bedroom.
And you gotta know your spouse, right? And that doesn't mean that there aren't, even if you have a spouse that needs to be warmed up, that doesn't mean that there'll never be a time where y'all just lock eyes and you're like, yep, take off running, right? But I think that's part of knowing your spouse, right? Knowing that, hey, listen, even to speaking the love language thing, right? There's certain things that are going to get a certain response, and it's going to warm them up. And by the time they're there, man, it's just all you got to do is just little spark, and
wow,
it just flashes up.
The
right?
Animation here.
Park said initiation could be verbal or
non-verbal. Yep.
Indeed.
Yep. And
initiation could be verbal or non-verbal. It is both for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
So I had a question. I don't remember what it was. Go ahead. I don't remember. I had a question. It just slipped my mind.
Well, if it comes to you, just interrupt me. So that's all really we wanted to talk about, is really about initiation. And what do you do? What's the conversation like?
Yeah.
When you feel like you're initiating too much? Can you go to your spouse and be like, babe, like, I'm gonna need you to step your game up in the initiation department? Like, those are conversations we don't often see people have, which is the whole goal of this Saturday night. For those of you, I think we got all regulars here, but for those who might stumble across this, the whole point of this Saturday night thing is to just bring up conversations that we believe couples should be having.
Here's a question. Here's the question. If you know, or maybe you don't know, but you initiate it, and I say something to you like, okay, you can get it, but I got to be honest, I'm not 100% there, but I'm going to give you what I got. You don't like when I do that. Why is that?
That's a personal thing.
I don't know if it's a personal thing.
It is. So to answer your question, here's why I don't like that. And here's why I say it's a personal thing. Here's what I've learned about you, right? What I've learned about you is that there are times where, and we talked about this when we did the thing with Muta and Christina. There are times where, in order to create the environment, you got to first get in the environment. Like, we got to start before the environment is created. Like, how some people, they they just talked about, Married with Benefits talked about warming up first.
Yeah.
Sometimes it doesn't get warm until
it starts.
We're already in the fire.
And can I say that, and I've heard sex therapists say that, and what's her name that wrote the book? We interviewed her a couple times. Controversial to some.
Oh, Sheila Gregoire.
Sheila Gregoire. She's even said that, I think she said it, that's how it is often for a lot of women. Tammy Hill, the sex therapist, she said that as well. That for women, they're not going to be into it until after they've actually started.
And I'm cool with that. I have accepted that. So to answer your question, and this is why I say it's personal, I, Oliver Marcel, personally want you to be hot.
Going in.
That's why. That's the only reason why. That's why I say it's a personal thing. Like, I've accepted the fact that we might have to kickstart the car.
Crime.
Right. We might have to be like, we might have to pop the clutch a little bit. I get that. And I'm cool with that. Me personally, and I don't know if it's an ego thing. If I'm just gonna be 100, you guys know me. I'm gonna keep it a buck. It could be an ego thing that I want you to want me. Like, I want you to be like, oh boy, if you don't get over here right now, right? So that's why
Mm.
that happens. But I have accepted that. I've accepted that. And in learning about you, and especially in the season of life that you're in now,
Yeah,
that is a real factor,
it's a real factor.
right? So I get that. So that's really just about me, getting over myself, basically, is really what that is.
Yeah.
In so many
I
words.
wonder if most men are that way.
Uh,
I think probably so.
I don't know. We want to be wanted,
Yeah, oh, for sure.
and I think that's a universal thing for the
Hmm.
most part. I think people want to be wanted.
Hmm.
They want to feel desired,
Hmm.
right? So if I don't feel desired in the beginning, but I know that very quickly into it
Hmm.
that I'm going to be desired, I think that's just a mental thing that I personally, I'm not putting this on anybody else, but the mental thing that I personally get past
Mm.
is that, for
Hmm.
me.
Yeah.
Um yeah. So and that may also be why in the past I wasn't as uh I wasn't as quick to initiate because I hadn't accepted that
Mm.
in the past. That, hey, initiate, she might not be like running you down and ripping your shirt off, but give it a couple minutes. And I just in the beginning, I don't think I was just willing to make that connection.
Right. Right.
That's this is going to be in your favor, so
Yeah.
just shoot your shot. It's going to bounce around the rim a little bit, but it's going to go in there. It's going to get in there. So listen, we're going to get out of here, but these are conversations that we believe folks should be having. If you're what I don't believe should happen is that nothing should be left to chance.
Hmm.
So if you feel like you are initiating, your initiation is lopsided, you have to say something.
I mean, if you have a problem with your initiation being lopsided, for some people, they're like, hey, long as I get it, I'll initiate all day long. No,
Yeah,
no.
yeah, but is that healthy?
If they don't have a problem with it, I would
I
say
guess.
that it's
Yeah, I
healthy.
guess if you don't have a problem, I guess. Kirk Nugent is in the house. What's up,
What's up,
fam?
Kirk?
What's up?
Hey,
Blessings to you and the family.
Kirk, our prayers are with you and the
Without a
Nugent
doubt.
family, just
Without
to
a
let
doubt.
you all know that.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. Without a doubt. Good to see you. Good to see you, my brother. That's my brother from another mother, Kirk
Hmm.
Nugent. Yeah, so that's the reason why I asked about whether that's healthy
Hmm.
is because that can even if you agree on that, that could lend itself to the other person getting comfortable and lazy.
The other
You're
person
welcome. You're welcome, bro.
who never initiates.
Yeah. I think that's I'm not saying that it will happen, but I'm saying that's the danger in that. The
It
danger in that
could. It
is
could.
if you're like, hey, listen, man, I'll initiate all day as long as I'm getting it. As long as I'm getting it in, I'm good. I think that opens the door for me to now just rest on my laurels and be like, hey, I don't got to do nothing because she want me.
I mean, I
I'm
feel
gonna be
like
good.
if neither one of them has a problem with it, mm,
Hey, and here and hence why there should be conversation.
there should be conversations,
Hence why
I
there should be
guess.
conversations because you don't want to leave that to chance either, right?
What's up, Europe? Europe's heaven? Am I saying that right?
What are we discussing tonight? We're discussing initiation and
As
the
far as sexual
as far as sex
intimacy
is
goes.
concerned. And the title is I Need My Spouse to Initiate More. So we're talking about what do you do? How do you go about it when you are the person who's initiating? Your initiation is lopsided.
I said it correctly. Okay,
Basically,
cool.
is what we're talking about. Dr. Parks said, I think sometimes women are shy in marriage. They don't
Agreed.
want to be seen as, yep, to their husbands. So they restrain themselves. And we've
Yep.
seen that.
That was me.
That,
Don't
well,
you think that was me? initially? Oh
No,
wow, I
no, I
guess
don't.
not. Wow.
I don't. Hold that thought for a second. I don't think you were with
I
me with
feel
this
like
client,
I
but
was
I had a
shy.
client where that was the case.
Mhm.
The way she was brought up, she was brought up in such a way that nobody ever talked about
Talked
that.
about it. Nobody ever
And
talked about sex.
and her only point of reference was something that was stamped as negative.
Mm,
So anytime she was like, well, I can't say that. I can't because that's wrong.
mhm,
Right. But then now the husband is like climbing the walls.
mm,
Like, we can't do this.
mhm.
I don't think it was that. I think with you, there was just some, and we talked about this. I don't know if we talked about this on Saturday night, but we've talked about this before on a live. There were just some things that were hindering you
True.
from
Yeah.
being open.
Yeah.
You are no, I'm not gonna say
Yeah. I was gonna say, okay,
that. I'm not
okay.
gonna say
Let's
that. You are. I'm trying to think of a better word.
we get
I
it.
was going to
We
use the
get it.
F word. You are
The F word?
open sexually, but that period of time there was a barrier. Freak.
I am not.
You
All right, let's change the subject. We're going. That's it.
yeah, you
Okay.
trying to take us a different
I'm
direction.
not. Go ahead.
So you are open, but what you're referring to, that issue that we had, there was a barrier that was based on something that you had to heal
Yeah,
from.
you're right. You're right. You're right.
It wasn't about you being afraid of anything,
Yeah, you're right.
right? Or being, like what Parks was saying.
True.
So, and again, had to have conversation around that,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because that also in the beginning was taken the wrong way.
Mm-hmm. It was.
Because I made some assumptions
Right.
on how you were navigating that and how you were presenting yourself through that, not knowing what the reason was.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's something different.
Yeah.
That's something different. So listen, fam, we're gonna get out of here. All the goal of this is really is to get folk talking, right?
Like we did.
You got to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
What better way to learn your spouse? What better way to learn to craft strategy? What better way to build a bond than to just talk about it?
Yeah.
It don't have to be. And I was just telling somebody the other day, I was like, these conversations don't have to be arguments. They don't got to be tit for tat. They don't got to be, oh, you doing it wrong and you doing it right. Like, just talk.
Yeah.
Learn about each other.
Yeah.
And you may come away with some strategy that really helps you take your relationship to the next level. Because the moment that you hear something like, dude, you need to shoot your shot more. That's the green light.
That's a green light.
And who don't want a green light? I need to change that light to green. Who don't want a green light? So start talking more and start learning each other, start creating a bond and have these conversations, man. So we appreciate you guys in the comments tonight. Thank you for that. Married with Benefits. I'm definitely going to check out the bracelet thing. That's kind of dope.
Bond
touch. I think that's a dope idea.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna create some real crazy kinds of
oh goodness,
crazy kind of taps. You know what I'm saying? 2.5 taps gonna mean, you gotta flip upside down, all that kind of crazy stuff. What about a man who claims Instagram, someone on Instagram saying, what about a man who claims he wants you to communicate
and then he just doesn't, just pretends like all is fine?
Whoa, hard question. Not hard question, but not hard question as in hard to answer. But here's what I want you to do.
He wants you to communicate and then he just doesn't. He pretends like all is fine.
I see Pizzo. Hold on one second. I'll come to that comment in a second. So Europe's, let me say this real quick.
Europe's heaven.
I'm gonna very briefly answer this question. Very briefly answer, because this show is not necessarily about advice.
Yeah.
However, I'd love to talk to you about that. So if you DM us, we can continue this conversation. But let me just say this. If somebody claims to want you to communicate and then they don't, there is a communication barrier on their end.
Yeah.
Now, does that mean that there might be some adjustments that you may need to make? Possibly, because that's why I'm saying we need to flush that out, right? Because you may approach a certain way that kind of shuts that down or not, right?
True.
So there's some nuances to that. So I don't want to just give you a blanket answer without knowing any context.
Correct.
So let's talk. Shoot us a message. If you're not following us on Instagram, follow us on Instagram. Shoot us a message. Let's get on a call and talk about it.
Yeah.
All right. Paul said, Paul said, don't let he leave the house without a bra. Don't let her leave the house without a bra. Listen, Doc.
He wasn't looking out for me, Pizzo.
Listen.
He was not looking out for me, okay?
Listen, let me say, in my defense, I'm cool with that.
I was gonna say, but he wouldn't care anyway.
Now, did the youth them in Wegmans, smile a little bigger when she got to the bakery? Probably. Probably. But I'm good. Like, because here's the thing, right? They may smile, but I smile and squeeze.
Oh my! Bye, Pizzo.
So I win.
Why did you say that, Pizzo?
So we good. So we good. No need, just acting up. Pierre is in the house. What's up, Pierre? Bond Touch. Yes, so beyond Bond Touch, I just learned about this too.
Look up bond-touch.com.
Yep. Bond-touch.com. It is a bracelet, or you can get a necklace. We were introduced to that earlier by Married with Benefits, Lion and Candy. It's something that they use to convey their feelings along, obviously, with whatever else they do. But that's just something that they use. Cool. That's nice and fun way to say, hey, I want you, or hey, I love you, whatever that is.
So, or whatever. Yeah.
So look that up. We just were introduced to it. I got it up on the other screen too. But
cool.
Nice, cool way to do that. Paul's in the comments. He said, yes, they did. Hey, listen, man, that's, it is what it is, my guy. Now within reason, I'm cool with it. Within reason.
Within reason?
Yeah, because, if I'm really being honest, like, I don't want everybody to see everything.
That's okay.
You know what I mean? But
nobody saw anything because
she had a coat on anyway. So.
No, but I went into, this is how I realized when I went into Wegmans, me and my hot flashes. I was zipped up when I went into Wegmans, but then I started getting hot. So I unzipped my coat and I was like, wait a minute, I feel a little free.
So here's the crazy thing though. The t-shirt was white.
The t-shirt was white. And so I was only going to the bakery. So I got the two little boxes from the bakery and I was walking around like this in the store. So nobody smiled, to your point. Nobody
I was
smiled.
just joking.
But
even if they do smile, listen, man, listen. Everybody likes flowers. Everybody don't get to pick them though.
This is true.
Everybody like flowers. It's all good.
This is true. But yeah.
Like the flowers all you want. Be like, oh wow, what a beautiful flower. Just know that only one dude is picking them. I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that, fam. All right, we getting out of here. The baker was chill. The baker was chill. Hey, listen, fam, we're looking forward to that as well. Listen, if you are in the Maryland, D.C. area, you need to get over to Paul's church, which is, I'm about to jack it up, Hope.
Community of Hope.
I think I said that right. We'll be hanging out there on February 3rd with Paul Graham and that community. Yep, Community of Hope, SDA Church. We'll be over there February 3rd, Saturday, February 3rd. So if you are in the area, come hang out with us. Come join us. We'll be there. February is a busy month for us.
Yeah, really busy
If
every
you're
weekend.
so if you're in the
Thank
Maryland,
God.
DC, Virginia area, there are a few options for you in the month of February, and we'll post them. We'll post them so that you can see where we are, and you get the opportunity to come and hang out with us. Listen, we're gonna get out of here. As we always say, conversation is a catalyst for growth. Europe, if you're still on here, please reach out so
Europe's
that we can.
heaven.
Europe's heaven. Please reach out so we can have this conversation, because I don't want to dismiss what you're saying, but I also don't want to just give you some blank. I hate when people do this, when they just give you some blanket answer and they don't even know your situation.
Yeah.
So let's have a
Answer might
conversation
not fit
about
everybody.
right. Let's have a conversation about that. Conversation is a catalyst for growth, a catalyst for learning, a catalyst for bonding. We hope that you have a fantastic rest of your Saturday night. Again, let me just put this out there. If you believe in prayer, everybody doesn't, and that's fine. We're cool with that. If you believe in the power of prayer, January 21st to 27th, we are doing a couples week of prayer. Typically we do this in the spring and in the fall, but this year we're going to do it quarterly. So the first one is January 21 to 27th, 6 a.m. daily. We're just going to go live. We have a theme for every day that we're praying for couples. We would love for you to join us. If you can't join us at that time, the replay will be there for you to watch as well. So share this with your folks. Let me do a couple of things while I'm here. Since I got the floor, let me do a couple of things. So proud of this beautiful lady sitting next to me. Those of you who, if you know single parents, the Dear Single Mommy Journal and Planner is out now.
It's available to ship.
It's
now.
available. So you can either go to denali.org/shop, or you can go to Amazon and you can grab that. Be on the lookout for the next Make Love Better 6-week group coaching experience. We have, in full transparency, we have not set a date, but we will set a date very soon. That date is coming very soon. So if you want some information about that, you can go to the website, which is on the screen right now, denali.org/make-love-better. You can get some information about that. We'll also be updating there the date for this group coaching. So make sure that you check that out as well. And the last thing, there's several, but this is the last thing I'm actually going to show, is that a new season of Inside the Relationship is coming. So we do this show on Saturday nights, but there's also Inside the Relationship. We only did one season, and we're coming back with another season to talk about all things love and relationships. If you're not already following us on social media, please do so. You can follow us on the platform that you're watching it on right now, or you can go over to TikTok. Yep. :/twice. You can go over to TikTok, or you can go over to Instagram. It's all Denali LLC everywhere. So peace and blessings, fam. Have a great rest of your Saturday night. Happy New Year to those we didn't say Happy New Year to already. We are looking forward to great things this year. We're excited about the opportunities that God has and will give us to be impactful in the lives of couples. Listen, if you're looking for coaching, if you know somebody who's looking for coaching, feel free to reach out to us. You can schedule a free discovery call, and we can talk about how we can be of service to you, to make sure that you're having the conversations that you need, to make sure you're communicating on an extraordinary level, to make sure that you are recognizing, managing, and recovering from conflict in record time, and making sure that you're building a holistic, intimate bond that can withstand all the stages and phases of life. Blessings on you. Have a fantastic weekend. We'll see you next week.
Take care. Bye, everyone.